And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Director at WEIU. Today we're going to talk a lot of EIU athletics. We have James Baird. He's the new EIU Assistant Athletic Director for Marketing and Fan Engagement here. Welcome, James.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Welcome to campus, too.
Excited to be here.
And an old friendly face, Mr. Mike Murray, EIU Associate Athletic Director for Development. So welcome, Mike.
It is good to be here, Jeff. Thanks for having us over.
It's getting to be a busy time. Here August rolls over here soon, and then the kids will be back, and sports and everything kind of kicks into full gear here on campus. But I want to talk a little bit about everything going on in athletics. But let's start off with maybe each of you explain with these long job titles they give us at Eastern what exactly it is that each of you do, and we'll let the new guy go, James.
Yeah. So basically, my main responsibilities are just trying to get people to come to games and making them fun and entertaining enough that they want to come back. So whether that's community members or students, we even reach out trying to make it fun for the kids. So anywhere in between, just trying to make it a good experience here for Panther Athletics.
And Mike?
Well, let me say first, before I talk about myself, that it's really great to have James on board. He's Assistant Athletic Director, as you pointed out, Jeff, for fan engagement, marketing, and we haven't had anybody in that position for a number of years now, so it's wonderful to have him. He's coming to us from Utah Tech and joined us, what's it been now, about 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, about 3 months.
Something like that.
Yep.
And he just got married.
Time flies.
Yeah, he's having a whole new life here in
Congrats
Charleston,
on the marriage.
Illinois.
Yeah, thank you. Got to add in the 1,500-mile move.
Somewhere
In between.
It was quite a journey. But I serve as Associate Director of Athletics for Development, which is essentially fundraising, Jeff. It's both long-term fundraising, short-term fundraising, includes Panther Club and any kind of deferred gifts or specific gifts to particular programs or projects within the department.
Well, one of the things that I know, and I actually saw the pictures for the first time today. Rich Moser sent over is that the new turf is up at the football field with the new logo in the middle, and that's been a long time coming. It looks so good.
Yeah, that's really fantastic, and I think people who are attending our games or watching on TV, whatever it might be, are going to see something that's really eye-opening. I mean, it's really colorful. Not done yet, but they're getting close, and I think you got it up there right now. It will be done before the first game, obviously, first home game for us. But it's been quite a project, quite a time-consuming project. Removing the old turf was quite a big job in itself.
One thing I noticed, we also air this show on television as well, so the radio listeners, I apologize. Yeah. But in the background, the big banners are down. Do they rest over the summer? Or how does that work? I don't even know why I noticed that today.
James, you might be able to.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Never seen them. They've been down since I got here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I think they'll be refreshed and put back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting things that I noticed. Also, the basketball court has had Eastern Illinois in the middle of it for years. They also have the new logo on that. So, talk about that, and then talk about is that something you go out and fundraise to pay for, or is that how does that work? I guess.
Well, we fundraise for all kinds of things, Jeff, and the basketball court itself, the refinishing there, that was not a major project for fundraising. The weight room in Lance Arena was a major project for our fundraising efforts. But the basketball court, the refinishing of the court, the new logo in center court, and the lighting, there's new lighting in the arena too, which is going to be a great enhancement for our spectators and fans. But that's all been done through planned financial resources.
And Jim, let's switch to you for a minute. Now that you've gotten to town and got situated, I assume, for some of your first job, I guess, Rich said you had to go to Bagel Fest and Coles County Fair and all these really tough events to do. So what do you do with that? Do you just kind of introduce yourself and talk about that?
Yeah, so basically my mentor back when I was an intern, I was playing football and interning for the athletic department. And because I was playing football, I wasn't able to work at football games. And so one of my major projects was doing things over the summer. And so she would have me go to these different community events to just be present and try and get the word out about the upcoming season. So anything from bringing my other teammates, having schedule posters, or giving out T-shirts, things like that. And that seemed to go really well as far as doing things during the summer, because that's what's going on is community events. And so I felt like that was a good option to try and introduce here. And so we've had players from football, basketball, cross country, baseball, softball, anything, you can name it. And they've given us a little bit of their time to try and give back to the community. One of the biggest things that Mike and I have actually been able to work on together is a community togetherness kind of group. It's called One Community Can, as part of Charleston Can, which in my mind, the community and the school can't really work as well if they're separate. If we can kind of,
symbiotic relationship.
if we can have those
collaborate. Yep.
work together, and especially if we can sprinkle in a little bit of athletics in that mix, we can make something really special. And so part of that is what led to going to the Bagel Fest, Red, White, and Blue Days, and then this week we'll be at County Fair. So we hope that having our football players out there signing posters, dunking our women's soccer team in the dunk tank will be a fun activity for both the teams, the players, but also the community members. And it's been really fun for the players and the kids to interact, I think.
Now, one of the things I also heard that you were going to do, and I think you're probably responsible for, is for the Panthers home football games, you bring back the end zone family fun zone?
That is the plan. I think one of the biggest things that is evolving in sports is it's not just about what happens on the field. I heard it one time said that there's basically an amusement park, and there's all of these different things, of festival of kind of activity and entertainment, and oh, by the way, there happens to be a game on the field or the court. And if I can do that and bring that here to EIU, I think it'll be a pretty successful venture.
And mostly with kids today, because they have that short attention span to give them other things to do, right?
Got to provide them with a way to get the best TikTok at a game instead of at their house.
Well, you get the kids there, and the parents come too. So
That is true.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, you have things upcoming. You have a golf outing down in Effingham coming up. I'm trying to think what the other one was. Oh, and you have a couple new clubs I want you to talk about. So if you go through some of those.
Sure, happy to. The golf outing that's coming up is the second of two that we have during the summer. This one will be on August 11th. That's a week from this coming Friday. It's a Friday, down in Effingham at the Effingham Country Club. And we've still got room for more registrants, more players. I think we've got 21 groups right now that are scheduled. We'd like to get that bumped up by another 6, 7, 8 groups, whatever we can. So foursomes are welcome, individuals are welcome. It's $160 for a person to play in the outing. There are sponsorships available too, if I can just comment on that real quickly. We have various levels of sponsorship. The first two at the highest level will entitle one two foursomes to play in the event, as well as getting advertising and so forth. And then the second level down would allow for one foursome to participate in the event. So there are individual registrants, sponsorships available, and just I'd be happy to answer any questions that people may have about the sponsorships, about the outing itself. But yeah, these are major events for our Panther Club in raising money for the Panther Club. Most of the listeners may know or have heard of Panther Club. It's the organization that exists for financially supporting intercollegiate athletics at Eastern Illinois University. A lot of that money that comes in as a result of Panther Club memberships and these golf outings and special events that contribute dollars to Panther Club go towards scholarships for our student athletes. And I'm proud to say that our student athletes have excelled not only on the field but also in the classroom. So we're pleased about that. The outing itself are scheduled to start at 1 o'clock. Tea times at 1 o'clock. There's a meal provided before as well as after the event itself. So there are benefits to participating that go beyond just the golf, Jeff. You asked me one other thing.
No, about there's two. The six-man club, and then, for lack of a better way to say, Jamie Pilson's involved in the new football club.
Yeah. Well, no, it's well said because Jamie's been the lead figure. first, the sixth man club is about supporting men's intercollegiate basketball at Eastern Illinois University. And what it amounts to is a fundraising entity that helps the basketball program with, it could be summer school, could be scholarship support, it could be assistant coaches, salaries. It's a way for us to provide revenue source for men's basketball that otherwise isn't there.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons, quite candidly, that we've decided to do this is because we know that in Division I basketball, for men's basketball in particular, if you get to the NCAA tournament, which is postseason, there's a revenue stream that exists there that doesn't otherwise exist for the schools that don't make it.
And we were about due, right?
Oh yeah.
Because we've had twice in the last 30 years, and I think it's time again.
It is time again, Jeff, and this funding source will help us achieve that objective. It moves us from where we were out of a 12-team conference. We were in that 10-11 range in terms of funding for men's basketball. So this particular venture, the Sixth Man Club, is helping us get a larger funding base and to do more things to support the program. The football program that you've basically related to is called Panther Football Champions Club.
Okay.
Panther Football Championships. PFC for short. and there's also a related organization called Panther Football Players Association.
I saw that, yeah.
Panther Football Players Association. That organization is simply intended to get more alumni from the football program, going back to whenever, the 50s, the 60s, guys that are still interested in following Panther football, to become members. There's no fee for it. You're not obligated to make any contribution or anything of that nature. It's just to get people reconnected to the football program,
Makes sense, yeah.
particularly alums. The Panther Football Championship Club, that is a fundraising entity, and we are hoping to raise in this first year, $200,000 that will go toward, some of it will go toward the, I'll call it upgrading of the O'Brien, not O'Brien Field, because that's already being done, but the stadium itself, locker rooms, and
Wheelchair
spiff it up.
accessibility, things like
yeah,
that.
spiff it up. Make it something that's more attractive than it has been. And Jamie Pilson, as you mentioned, from Pilson Auto, has been a lead figure in getting that started. In fact, without him, we probably wouldn't be where we are today.
He's an all right guy.
He is indeed. He is indeed.
There you go.
He has lots of really, really good ideas. I've only talked to him a couple of times, but he's been able to help me a lot with kind of being able to capture the tradition and excitement of past years of Panther football and try to bring that back to right now, this new era with Coach Wilk, and kind of push for success now in the future.
Yeah, we wanted Coach Wilkerson to be here today, but something called practice got in the way.
The start of the season.
There you go.
Official.
Yeah,
That'll
we're only a
get
few
you.
weeks away, aren't we? Now, James, the other thing is game enhancements. One of the things that has always been is how do we get more students and how do we get more community to these games? So besides, football, basketball, you have to do this for all the sports. So talk about maybe some game enhancements we'll see this upcoming season.
Yeah, so I think the biggest things that we've been working on so far is trying to handpick particular students that are well connected within campus, whether that be through different clubs, fraternities, athletic teams, that have the ability to cast a wide net and reach out to a lot of other students, and kind of have them be almost a board of brainstormers to help us think of, okay, hey, what's really popular right now? What can we do to make it more fun for the student? And these individuals will be kind of in charge of helping us choose popular music, choose what types of different prizes we can give out, things like that will draw people in. And then on top of that aspect, other things such as more video content, and doing different theme nights and things like that. I know right now we're working with the international student coordinator to try and have kind of an extra special experience for International Student Night for volleyball for their first conference game. And then for basketball, those will also be coming along. But I think the biggest thing is just the outreach to the students to make sure that they understand, hey, this stuff is going on. And by the way, you're a student, you can get in for free. And I think that a lot of students everywhere across the country, they don't really know when the games are, and then if they do, they don't know that they can actually go and enjoy these activities and experiences for free. And so we're hoping that with the kind of uptick in information that they're being given, it'll help them want to come and enjoy that.
Makes sense. There's also social media. You're everywhere. Talk about that and how you're going to use that to promote athletics and the app update or anything.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that we're working on with our app is just not a full rebrand, but kind of updating a lot of different pieces inside of it with different graphics. We have a really great graphic designer, Sandy, that has been helping us just make it look really professional, whether that's with our different logos or having kind of uniformity between things. The other cool things is that you can now be able to access your tickets and buy tickets through the app, get notifications on, hey, there's a game on Thursday or on Saturday or different things like that. And the same type of thing can be said for social media. Social media will be able to push out more videos of players so that the fans can get to know them. Videos that we wouldn't normally have in the past, that people wouldn't be able to kind of get to know the personality and the background of these different individuals that come to us from all across the world, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Each team even has different international students from all over the United States. And so we're really excited to make the experience and focus just all about the student athlete and trying to improve their experience.
With new blood coming in and new turf and all this new stuff that you fundraising for, it's got to be, there seems to be a bigger energy this summer as we head into the fall season. Do you agree, Mike?
No, I agree 100%. Anything new kind of breeds excitement,
Yeah.
and we've got a lot of new stuff going on right now. We mentioned the arena, the football field, and so forth. We've also got some stuff going on at other venues.
Yeah, baseball
as
had
well.
something, right?
Yep, baseball, new scoreboard, softball, new scoreboard. We'd like to get a new turf as well in both softball and baseball. Now those are projects that are down the road a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're things that will require fundraising because the state of Illinois and the university are not in a position right now to help us advance any of our facilities to
Yeah.
build them, to renovate them. So it's all done predominantly.
Is there any
by
thoughts about
fundraising.
lights at the baseball field?
Yeah,
I know
that's
it's been
come
brought
up.
up for
Absolutely,
years.
absolutely. I mean, we can't play night games there. It's
Yeah.
that simple, and that limits the number of home games that we're able to schedule. So yes, that's in the conversation, and there may be some folks out there that would be interested in seeing that we can deal with too.
Yeah, I think so. And then how do you gauge your success of these things? Do you do it sport by sport, semester, or do you wait till the end of the year with all the new stuff going on? How do you gauge the success? And both of you can answer if you
Well,
need to.
in terms of dollars and cents, I mean, pretty hard fact. You raised X number of dollars, and you did it for this project or that project or scholarships, whatever it may be. So for us, it's simply a matter of looking at, did we achieve the objectives in terms of balancing the budget, number one, and number two, supporting the projects that have been out there as individual projects for which we've raised money. Women's basketball locker room would be an example. A couple of years ago that we started a fundraising effort there and finally got it completed toward the end actually of this past season, and it's been beautiful. And that was all a result of essentially one major donor.
Anything to add there, James?
I think success can kind of be gauged in a lot of different ways. I think number one for me, being successful is having the student athletes enjoy their game day experience. Whether that's by having cool light shows or cool videos about them, or just creating the big moment. I think making it about them and having them have a good experience definitely adds up to success. But then another thing is just student interaction, student engagement. If we can get students to these games and have them enjoy the games, I think our teams will end up feeding off of that extra energy, and we'll be able to build even more than just what like Coach Wilk and what Coach Simmons are doing with trying to improve those programs. Having that extra student engagement, if we can have a bunch of extra loud screaming fans, it'll help them be able to get more wins.
Does the new name, image, and likeness have any role here? But does it affect any of your job duties at Eastern?
Name, image, and likeness. What a concept. And the transfer portal that you're probably familiar with, where a student athlete can move from one school to another without any kind of ramification, penalty, don't have to sit out a year and that whole thing. Name, image, and likeness is all about, I guess it's frankly allowing the athletes to benefit financially from the fact that their name may be used, their image may be used by various promotional efforts, and as a result of that, they've been able to get the NCAA and others who are interested in college sports to support this idea of compensating an athlete for use of their name, image, or likeness. And that's happening now. And there are some big dollars going out there right now. It's my understanding, women's basketball, for example, Caitlin Clark, who played for the University of Iowa, and she is reportedly getting several $1 million from various sponsors. She's got one more year of eligibility, several $1 million in order to use her image and likeness and name in various advertising. And that, to me, that's just mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah.
I played basketball in college like 50 years ago, and I'm telling you,
you didn't even get shoes back then, right?
Barely, that's right. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Does it affect your job at all, James, or not?
I think it gives me a good opportunity to try and help athletes. I think with name, image, and likeness becoming more and more a part of the game and a part of the student-athlete experience, it gives me a chance to hopefully be able to help these athletes have a way to promote themselves. Because if their name isn't out there, if their image isn't out there, the companies aren't going to be able to see it, and so the players aren't going to be able to get deals. And so if I can be able to help someone create better social media content for themselves or be able to enhance their outreach to the community and to other companies so that they can get name, image, and likeness deals, I feel like that ends up helping us a lot in the long run, especially when it comes to recruiting. Especially being in a small area, there's not as many companies to go around to try and be able to give these deals to the athletes. And so the more that we can do with that, I feel like the more it's going to help our teams in the end.
September 16th is the home opener for football, Illinois State. What can we expect on that day? I mean, besides a good crowd, hopefully a beautiful fall day.
Well, yeah, hopefully all of the above. I think people will be impressed by the field, the new field that we have in place. They're going to see some new faces, and some of that's a result of the name, image, and likeness and transfer portal issues. But it should be entertaining. I'll defer to James on some of the other things that people might expect.
I am excited. We got some really cool videos that will be coming out at that game. Some pretty sweet prizes that we'll be giving out. My favorite thing that actually Jamie Pilson's helping us with, be on the lookout for a Harley when the team comes out of the locker room. I'm very excited for that one, and lots of noise. Lots of noise.
There you go. Good. And plenty of tailgates and all that stuff as
well.
well.
One thing, can I add real quickly?
Yes, you're fine. We got a couple minutes left.
Okay, just to go back to your question about how you measure results. And I focused on dollars and cents, which is clearly one of the things that
I get that, yeah.
Yeah, that measures results. but they're also relationships that we build with people, alumni, friends, supporters of intercollegiate athletics at EIU. And the more people that we can get involved with participating, whether it's $1 or $100,000, I mean, it makes a difference. We want fans and people to be out there feeling good about the product that we're putting on the fields and the courts and so forth, and whether they're donating $1 or not. Having relationships and building a base is great.
Well, and the other thing that I think we talked about before with a guest a few weeks ago, Amber, I think it was, I don't remember, but it doesn't matter, is that the baseball and softball ended on such a high last year, both
Absolutely.
advancing. And so there's a little bit of carryover momentum going into this fall.
Yeah, good point.
There you go.
Our
Absolutely
spring
right.
sports, they balled out. Baseball, softball, track, just amazing.
There you go. Anything else I forgot that you were doing before we get to some sillier, more sports-related questions? Anything that you guys I forgot to ask you about that you know that is going on with Eastern Athletics? We're talking to Mike Murray and James Baird today.
I think you covered it well, Jeff.
Yeah, I think pretty good.
All right, we're going to just ask some questions. Most of it's about EIU or sports, so it's not that. We'll go James first since he's a new guy. Okay. All right, your all-time favorite college athlete?
Tim Tebow, University of Florida.
Michael Jordan.
Your favorite sports movie or TV show? I'll give you the hint because
that is a tough one.
That's why you're here, my man.
I'd say Field of Dreams for me.
Yeah.
I'll go with we'll go with Remember the Titans.
Yeah, that's a good one too. All right, now here's my favorite question of the day. All-time best EIU quarterback. Is it Sean Payton, Tony Romo, or Jimmy Garoppolo, or if you want to throw another name out there, Jeff Christensen, you could. Who's your best?
I'm going to go with Tony. I feel like success here at EIU, but also, I mean, that guy has been just a flag bearer for this university, pushing things out like NFL, now broadcasting. So I picked Tony.
That is a really, really tough and unfair question,
I know,
Jeff.
but it's a great question.
It is. And I won't argue with James really at all. But Tony's retired now. Jimmy Garoppolo's still active, and we're wishing the best to him, obviously.
Healthy so far.
Yeah, so far. But I'm going to go with Sean Payton, and the main reason I'm going with Sean Payton is because of, and this is not directly related to his skill, but his talent now as a coach. I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah, and him and Aaron Rodgers are in a fight right now, so it even makes it better.
That's right.
We get that
That's
airplay
true.
as well. So, James, great to meet you, and best of luck this year.
Thank you so much.
Mike, it's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Go Panthers, everybody. We are WEIU. We'll see you on the field and the courts this fall right here at EIU.